Sairam, everyone. The next portion will be about the young adult wing of our organization. Yeah, I know, we bring the energy. So I'd like to call up Lala, or Lalandika, to come up and share about the early years of the young adult group.
Sairam. I hope I don't mess this up, so I'm going to try my best here. My name is Lalandika Yogendran. A lot of you are new faces to me, so you probably don't know who I am, but you probably do know who Auntie Chandra is. And that is my mother. And on a really good day, some people tell me, oh, closer. Now everyone can hear me? So on a really good day, some people tell me I am as pretty and as intelligent and as wise and as loving as she is. Anyway, I'm here to talk about the beginnings of our young adult group, which actually started in 1996. But our group back then was an amalgamation of many young people. There was us who had come through the Balvikas classes that became SSE, and amongst those teachings and those people that we were at that time, I see in this room many mothers and fathers who helped raise me and us, as well as many teachers. So thank you for that. Boston, as you know, has a lot of schools and colleges, so there are a lot of people visiting Boston, living in Boston for many years, and with that was the impetus to start what would eventually become the stronghold of the young adult group. So here we lead with a quote from Swami. I want you to be leaders to protect the world, leaders like lions, self-reliant, courageous, majestic, and just. The lion is the king of animals, and I want you to be kings among men. And so one of the first people that kept us together and made us the young adult group that we are, who unfortunately couldn't be here, was kind enough to make a few videos to guide us through our journey. And her video will be coming up, but a lot of what ended up becoming the young adult movement happened in 1997 at the first World Youth Conference that a lot of us at that time had journeyed to. And here are a few expectations from Swami himself. The age range was 16 to 30. I can tell you when you were 15, you were itching to be part of a young adult group. As crucial for that is the period when life adds sweetness to itself, when talents, skills, and attributes are accumulated, sublimated, and sanctified. If the tonic of unselfish service is administered to the mind during this period, life's missions is fulfilled, for the process of sublimation and sanctification will be hastened by this tonic.
And Sairam, and greetings to everybody during this 40th year celebrations of Boston Sai Centers. Yes, I had the privilege to attend the youth conferences hosted by Swami himself in Puttaparthi, starting from 1997. The second one was in 99 and the third one in 2007. And Swami gives you so much attention and he showers so much love on us, but his expectations of us are also very lofty. Yes, we have study circles, we have music programs, we have dances, and we do service projects, but his expectation of us is that we rise above that to understand the main purpose of life. And he summed it up in the first youth conference. The theme was Daiva Priti, Papa Bhiti, Sanganiti. So he says, you young adults should cultivate that love for God. The moment you do that, and your entire life has that love for God, you automatically fear sin. Meaning not that you fear punishment or fear the outcome, you actually fear sin and do the right thing because of your love for God. That is fear of sin. And then Sanganiti is safeguarding human values and safeguarding morality in society. This was his theme for the first youth conference, and this is his expectation of young adults.
Nice. Yeah, that's applause.
Definitely applause. And to kind of further harness on what Lalita said, everything that Swami was speaking about at that time helmed from what we had learned in SSC and from our human values and from our teachings. And he was trying to help guide us through that space where we are children and then we move to adulthood. So I'd like to move on right now and kind of talk about the early
We started informally in 1996. We would meet in Chandrante's house. And then slowly, once the group was formalized and the World Youth Conference happened, we moved to the center premises. The center was kind enough to give us space for 2 hours every alternate Sundays, and that's where we would have the YA meetings. It was amazing. The center leadership, the president at that time was Dr. Shah, and senior Uncle Cooper, and Chandra Uncle, who was the first YA advisor. They were so supportive of the young adults. And the young professionals and the students and the SSC students who had graduated into young adults, all of us were one big group. And we did so many activities, but we were also part of the center, and we were an integral part of the center. And so that's how the young adult group started in the Boston area. And as we went along, the group grew larger, we added on more service activities, and but at the same time, we stayed under the umbrella of the center, and that was the beautiful part of. So the YA wing was not a separate wing, as much as the SSC wing is not separate or the service wing is not separate. They were all different arms of the Sai Center.
And just to point out here, we have some people here in the audience right here in this picture of the early YA group. I can see Anu here on the left. Who proves that some things can be timeless. Here's Lala and Lalita and Meenal and Hema and Bindu and Sugi and yeah, definitely throw names out. Yeah. Oh, and Subbu, who proves that people do change. And Peter as well. And Kiruba, oh, is she?
She's right there. Kiruba's.
Oh, right there, right before, yeah. And here's, of course, the Y group meeting. Here's Ravi and Venkat and Shruti, whose kids are now in SSC here as well.
So moving on, these are some of our early years and some of the projects that we were involved in. So Judge Connolly, at the farm. At the beginning, a lot of what we did was service projects because it was the best way we knew how to kind of create ourselves within the community and the Sai Center. But as the years moved on, we also wanted to take a more forward place within the center, within the way we were role models, within the way we were leaders. These are a few more pictures from those days. Sancta Maria. The purpose of the YA group is to foster and channel youth energy for the Sai movement, learn from Sai literature as a group, share experience and internalize Swami's teachings, develop team building and leadership skills through various events, activities, and through supporting the center. There were a lot of troughs and high points. Every time we went to a retreat, there was always the planning of a performance, and we had many performances over the years, and a lot of people in here remember how much effort we put into those performances. There was the one year that we did the Ramayana. There was a lot of time and effort, a lot of practice hours, a lot of memorization of sentences and words and phrases. We got to the retreat and realized that maybe we were a little bit in over our heads initially. There was a lot of good intention. Surprisingly, though, things came together. And they came together, again, out of Swami's will and guidance, because there were people at the retreat who were willing to work with us, who stepped forward to help us with props and makeup, and it became one of the most successful performances that we have given to date. And so these are pictures actually from our YA retreat. This is also another play that we did called The Elements. We wanted to bring into light the elements of the earth. And I specifically remember it was Asha, Sugi, and Kirba here on the picture on the right here, and myself. We were sitting at MIT trying to figure out what we were going to perform in that coming year. And we decided to kind of think outside the box and perform and dance. And to that end, we also came up with no ideas because we didn't really have an artistic dance in our body. We happened to see somebody walk across the MIT campus, and me being as friendly as I was, approached him and said, hey, can you teach us some hip-hop dancing? We're going to do this play for our spiritual group, and one of the dances we want hip-hop. And then I proceeded to tell him what the other requests were. He looked at me a little weird, as anyone would, took our information. A week later, he sent back an email. He found 3 people to teach us 3 different performances that eventually became the Elements play. So I'm going to move on now to where we currently are.
Okay, and so I think they're playing me off right now, so I'm just going to keep this really quick. But I think my role here was to talk about where the YA group is today. And I feel really fortunate to do this because when like Lala, when I look out at the people here, I see members of my family, for better or for worse. And I look out and see a lot of the love shown towards me that I try to show towards others in my life. That being said, logistically, I was asked to describe the YA group. And so we have a group now that in the last 5 to 8 years has really been burgeoning. And we have in the Boston area up to 40 to 50 YAs, 10 to 30 of whom attend YA satsangs. And we expanded our leadership to have 5 YA leaders because of the number of activities and responsibilities we were committing to on the local, regional, and national levels. We also established a YA Seva leader to continue the Haley House Project, whose recipe indeed remains unchanged, and continue to hold